Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive intuitive answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, creativity, entrepreneurship, politics, and more. My inspirational tarot reading for this week is going to ask the question, how can we heal our hearts this week? This past week has been horrendous, horrific, watching the news, as I addressed in the other tarot video on George Floyd. So I thought for the inspirational tarot reading this week, I would ask that question. How can we best heal our hearts? How can we get through this stress and this heartache in the best possible way? I know I've had to meditate and pray and ask a lot because it's been very stressful for me. Just watching the news, it just wrenched my heart. And between that and COVID and the unemployment, it's just been very difficult, as I'm sure it has been for you, many of the people watching this right now. So, for this week of June 1st, starting the second half of this year of 2020, how can we heal our hearts? I'm going to ask Spirit, how can we heal our hearts? And, of course, the significator card, which I also used for the other reading, is the Three of Swords, representing situation of tremendous heartbreak. But it's also, heartbreak can also be a time of cleansing. The way to get through the heartache is through cleansing, through tears, etc. I will say as an aside for myself, I am challenged in that, except for movies, because something with movies and music movies, I have a lot of trouble crying. When I've had difficult situations, it really takes a lot for me to cry. And I think it's good to cry because it helps. It gets those toxins out of your system. But somehow I have difficulty crying unless it's a really sad or romantic or some type of movie accompanied by music. But back to the question, how can we heal our hearts? How can we heal our hearts? Right, the first card, oh, geez, the Devil card, Major Arcana of the Devil card. I would say what's coming to mind when I first see this in response to the question, how can we heal our hearts, is perhaps first acknowledging whatever pain it is that we're feeling. We have to acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the situation at hand that is causing us to feel so stressed. We have to face it, look it in the face. It's that old title of the book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. We have to allow ourselves to feel it. And I think that's why sometimes I have trouble crying in a situation when I'm in a stressful situation, is because in a way, I don't want to acknowledge the stress. It's so overwhelming if I have to feel it in my heart, and I don't want to, so I think I block it. But if we want to heal our hearts truly, you do need to feel it. So you need to acknowledge what's chaining you down, what's dragging you down, what you feel is just trapping you, if that's the situation. So first piece of advice from Spirit through the tarot is acknowledge, face the situation head on. The next card answering the question of how can we heal our hearts. The Page of Pentacles, which shows a young man out in a bucolic setting, out in the country. It looks like a nice summer day, out in the country, illuminated with its beautiful sunlight, perhaps it's warm and sunny. And what he's doing is gazing at this coin, the Page of Pentacles, Page of Coins. He's also got this red headpiece, which for me signifies passion. So I think one piece of advice here that the Spirit is giving us through the tarot is suggesting that we need to get our focus on to something positive, something that we can easily put our minds on to start healing the heart, something new, because the Page of Pentacles, or Pentacles in general, represent youthful energy. So something perhaps new that we can focus our attention on to start healing our hearts. I mean, I think that's what I've heard with people going through sense of who have been grieving. And one way, everyone has to go through grief if they've lost a loved one, for example. And one way, though, to get through that, once you've shed the tears, allow the cleansing, to start healing your heart, is to start finding a new purpose. Whether it's a new project, something that you can really focus on, something that will engage your interest, your attention, and allow you to feel that you are contributing. And that's what this Page of Pentacles reminds me of. It's this young, youthful energy is focused, is dedicated to something meaningful and purposeful, and that really helps to absorb their focus and helps them to create new meaning. And then finally, this is interesting, another piece of advice from Spirit through the tarot and how we can heal our hearts is the King of Wands, which was, I believe that was the King of Wands showed up in the previous reading that I just did for this week. But what this jumps out and says to me is that similarly, and we've got the page, 2 court cards, Page of Pentacles, but it's also saying to really live out your purpose in life. Get back on purpose, get back on track about what you feel passionate about, what you can gives you a vision for your life, helps keep you on track, and that you can move forward with in the future, that you hold on to it. He's gripping the wand, and it's something it's just a solid purpose, something that gives you a solid purpose. And it's very kind of similar to the Page of Pentacles. Let me see if there's anything else, but again, we have a lot of red, suggesting passion, suggesting that fire energy. I would say his green cloak here too is saying to me that you want to have some area where there's growth that allows you to grow, to continue to expand, to be renewed. Yeah, he has green shoes and this green cloak. There's, of course, this little green salamander. That seems to me just to be, like this little quizzical creature to his side that represents, it's what's coming in my mind is that it's something doing something quirky, but something distinctive, something that shows the world who you are, what's unique about you. In conclusion, this week's reading from Spirit through the tarot seems to suggest that a way of healing your heart is facing the dire situation, facing the troubling situation right on. Acknowledging it, feeling the fear, and going through that fear, no matter how. It can be pretty overwhelming. It can feel that way, but you've got to just kind of face it head on. Then, this Page of Pentacles recommends, start finding some new endeavor to give your life a new project, to start dedicating your time toward. And similarly with the King of Wands, and making that your kind of overriding focus and purpose, that this will help heal your heart. Because when you're on purpose, when you're engaged, when you are operating and from your zone of genius, from that book by Gay Hendricks, when you're operating from your unique zone of genius, that's a way you get back on track, on purpose, and you can move forward through your grief. And that's an ideal way, one ideal way, not the only one, but one effective way to heal your heart. I hope this reading has been helpful for you. I will see if I come up with a book recommendation. I didn't have time to look into this beforehand or to look up the song, but I will have something for you in the show notes. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not already subscribed, and if you'd like a personal reading with me, go to my website, thetarotgenie.com. Until next time, remember, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.